What's up, y'all? What's up, Top Shelf? I had to put a groove on. That's so fitting, because it's a family affair. Alright, I'm gonna let y'all just come in here real quick. I'm looking for my two guests to come in here real quick. It's a family affair. My two amazing guests, my two beautiful guests, my two awesome guests. 1 second. Hey. Hey. It's what up, Ant? Hey, look at the afro popping. The afro is popping. What up, Jeff? What up, Anthony?
Oh, Lord.
Get my groove on real quick, because it's a family affair. We just gotta wait for it. We gotta wait for the eldest, you know.
She coming in always. She always late.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There it goes. Hold on, wait. Let me get my brew. I'm getting my celebration early. Could have for tomorrow, you know.
Oh, Lord.
Hold on, wait. I
Hey,
got a
you got
request.
some...
Let's see who this request is. Let's see who this request belongs to. Let's see if she can get on the line for real. Can you?
Right. Messing with the Android.
Anthony said, it's the hair for me. Oh, we got her.
Lord have mercy.
Shantae, hold on. I'm just getting my groove on real quick. Hold on. Hey, Sharday. Okay.
There we go. Put some respect. Put some respect.
Hold on. 1 second. 1 second. All right, Alexa, you can pause that real quick. Woo! Yes. Oh, wait. Alexa ain't listening. Hey, Alexa, pause for me real quick. Okay. What's up, everybody? Come on in here. Come on in. Top Shelf Podcast.
Anthony.
It's the IG Live Mondays. This is a special one. I got two queens in my life on this live right now. But before we get into anything and before we get into introductions and all this, the conversation that we're going to have, the amazing conversation that we're going to have, we got to pray. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the other members of Top Shelf Podcast, my boy Anthony and my boy Jeff. Of course, we switching it up for the month of September. And they're going to be coming on in future weeks and doing the same thing I'm doing right now with different guests. Yeah, man, I'm excited about the conversation. And I'm going to pray us in. God, right now, we just pray over the conversation that we're going to have. Lessons from a single parent household. God, I thank you for Shantae. I thank you for Cordelia. I thank you that we were all able to come together. Thank you for the conversation that we're going to have. Thank you for the platform that we have. Thank you for life, Lord. And we just pray that you be glorified, that you be uplifted in this conversation, and that everybody that walks away from the conversation will be encouraged and uplifted. In Jesus' name, amen.
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 Hey.
Hello, Dan. Hey, Carol.
What up?
Okay. All right. Kadia got fans already.
Got friends.
Yes. So before we get into anything, I know everybody wants to know who these lovely ladies are. For those who don't know, these amazing women of God,
Oh my gosh,
beautiful women are my sisters. And yes, I don't mean like sister, like, hey sister, what's up? Yeah, my sister, queen, I see you. No, these are the women that I grew up in the same house with. You know what I'm saying? I have my first sister and I have my youngest sister. Okay, can y'all introduce yourselves right now?
What up? My name is Cordelia. I'm the youngest, repping for all those baby of the families right now. You know what I'm saying? Just letting her know.
You could tell she's the youngest. That's why she had to go first.
Oh.
Whatever.
Whoa.
Okay, that's how we coming in tonight. Bet.
I'm the big sister. My name is Italia. Middle name I go by Shantae, and I'm the big sister of 5.
Yeah, so y'all might hear some nicknames thrown around because, you know, in the house back in the day, Etoya was called Shantae in the house. We just call Cordelia Dilly, you know what I'm saying? And then me, I go by Petey because of my father. So if y'all hear those nicknames being thrown around, You know, don't be alarmed.
Yes, write it down.
You know, just write it down, but don't hold it against us. All right. So, can y'all tell them where y'all are presiding from? Where y'all at? Where y'all broadcasting from?
Yeah, so I'm in Kansas City for now.
Yeah.
For
Ooh,
now.
ooh, ooh.
For right now. Okay.
She's
Got some things
trying to be on
shifting
she's trying to be
around.
on the East Coast side.
Okay.
Hey, I'm coming over.
Okay.
I'm on the East Coast side, DC, Maryland area.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's it. These are my lovely sisters, man. And I am the fourth out of the 5 kids. In case somebody was wondering, so I'm kind of like in the middle.
Oh,
You know
middle
what I'm saying?
kid.
And I love being in the middle, you know what I'm saying, in the middle of conversation. You know, I know,
Oh
don't
my
put
God.
that thumbs down, Kadir. Get out of here with that. You know what I'm saying?
Child.
So before we get into this conversation that we're gonna have, sisters, how was y'all weekend? How did y'all enjoy it? The weather? How's the weather in Kansas? How's the weather in DC?
It was
Yeah,
rainy here.
Go ahead. You
It
said
was
it's
rainy
raining?
here.
Oh,
I said it's
no.
been a rainy week.
Okay. Yeah, in
Okay.
Kansas City, we're finally moving into fall weather. So it's been a good weekend. I got to have a slumber party at my apartment, which was super fun
Hey.
with some college students. And so that was really cool. We watched a scary movie.
Okay.
I had nightmares a little bit, but I was good. I'll be all right.
Okay, I hear you, Cordelia. And so, but let me ask too, do y'all watch, y'all engage with Top Shelf Podcasts and everything like that? Y'all engage with us?
Yeah.
Y'all frequent? Because I know Cordelia's been on here a couple of times, IG Live. She know how it goes.
Yeah.
And Shantae, I know you familiar.
I'm familiar. I'm out of my comfort zone, but I'm here.
Shantae be in the comment section.
Shantae be like, and just so you know, and my
Oh
thing
my
is,
gosh.
That's the big sister in me.
my thing
Oh my
is,
gosh.
that's Shantae's thing. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is we want to go into the conversation. Shantae, so I'm gonna start with you first because you was first. You know, as the first of 5 children, do you feel like you had it the hardest growing up?
If you would have asked me like back then, I would have said yes. But the older version of me, I'll say no because there's not a blueprint to be a parent. So with that being said, with being the first, it's like she was learning as well. So
yeah,
I got you. Shantae, I know this is off the cuff. I wanted to ask you too, do you feel like since moms was a youngin', do you feel like y'all was like learning each other at such a young age? You feel like it was like, do you feel like it was more of a friend bond, or do you feel like it was like, okay, this is my parent, I understand that?
It definitely wasn't a friend bond because, of course, she wanted the best for me, and so therefore she was more protective of me versus when the others came along. So being more protective of me, I didn't get to see as much so soon. So I did learn a lot. I learned a lot. Now that I think back over it, as she was learning, I was learning.
Okay. Cordelia, same questions as the last child, the baby of the family. Do you believe you had it the hardest?
I wouldn't say I had it the hardest, but I definitely y'all always be saying I had it the easiest, and that is a daggone lie. Listen, I was not able to go anywhere. Like I remember I asked Mama. No, listen. I was not able to go anywhere. Like I got whoopings. I said we all got it across.
Who got whoopings? Cordelia,
I
was in the room too. Don't forget that.
I had it rough too. Affirm me.
One thing I would say that I was jealous of though, because although there's 5 of us, so Wes and Tiffany, they had each other, and then you and Cordelia had each other. So with me, I didn't have like a big sister or big brother. Of course, as you guys know, I have mentors that are like my big sisters, but I didn't have that. So you guys always had someone to ask questions. Someone to ask.
To go to.
Yes.
Okay.
What was that? Water?
Don't worry about what that was, Shantae. Just know tomorrow's a special day, okay?
He's not playing. He's ready. Ready.
Hey,
me and my
wife ready. You know,
got
me and my wife ready.
A birthday.
Yeah. Look, me and my wife Freddie. So anyway,
Ah!
so basically, all I got to say is,
That's
Cornelia,
cute.
were you finished answering the question?
Nah, man, I was not allowed to go anywhere.
Oh,
Let me just say that. I remember
okay.
I would ask Mama, like, Mom, can I go over this person's house? Or can I, like, go do this thing? I wanted to go to a camping trip. I
Okay.
even wanted to go to Bible study. And
Hold on,
Mama
Shante,
was
hold on.
like, nope, no, you're not going anywhere. It wasn't until I got to college that Mom started saying yes. But other than that, everything was a no. After school programs, nope,
What's
none
up,
of that.
Gertie?
Tap me in.
No,
Okay,
I
go
don't
ahead,
want to tap
Shante.
you in.
Go ahead.
But not only did I not get to go anywhere at times, if I did get to go somewhere, I had to take my little brother with me. So everywhere I went, because
West,
my mother
right?
was
West.
But
no,
now, wait
no,
a minute. But now,
no,
wait a minute.
I had to take Fred everywhere with me. So that's why our bond was like so like I always felt like, I love my siblings, but
Mm-hmm.
my mother was like, oh, can I go outside? Take your brother with you. Can I go up the hill? Take your brother with you. You
But
know what
see,
I mean?
now,
Of
wait a
course I
minute,
got mad.
though. In our defense, we had the nephews, too. We had to watch the nephews as well.
We
This is a
had.
sibling chat. This is a sibling chat. This
Here
is
we
a
go with
sibling
the
chat.
siblings.
Oh,
No,
my gosh.
because let me tell I mean, I don't have any regret. I mean, I'm thankful, but I just think with me, I knew I always had someone looking at me and I didn't think about this until every one of my siblings have pointed this out, which means the most to me. But going outside, take Petey with you.
Okay.
Ah!
Whatever.
Frederick.
Whatever. As the
Frederico.
fourth kid, I don't believe I had it hard. I don't feel like it was really hard because I think we all had each other. For me,
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
like
Yeah.
I feel like we always had somebody to go to. What's up, Patty?
right.
And so I feel like there was never a dull moment in the
Yeah.
house as
Mm.
the fourth kid. Like I had my little
Still now.
sister, Yeah, still now. Like
Yeah.
I have my little sister, which is Cordelia, with me to bounce off of when we're doing stuff that was creative. Like I would work on that with Cordelia, or I would bounce ideas off of you, Shante, or I would talk to Wes about it, and Wes would be writing poetry and taking us to like clubs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Wes is the reason why me and Cordelia got comfortable being on camera. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shante was the reason why I started getting deeper into poetry. You know what I'm saying? And everybody had that stake. Everybody had that stake. Mama would come to my shows at the church. Like when I wrote a show for the church, moms was like
Yeah.
always bigging me up. You know what I'm saying? And it was always like it was such a like an ecosystem, a great little
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
ecosystem. Like
Yeah.
it takes a village, so to speak.
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
Let me ask y'all this. What is and y'all can just answer at any time. What do you feel like the greatest lesson you learned from having a single parent?
Mm.
Strength.
Can you elaborate on that, Shante? Like strength in what aspect? What are we talking about?
Strength and I would say resilience because our mother, as you know, she's very strong. She's overcame so many adversities,
Mm-hmm.
whether it be, being a single parent, divorce, health,
Yeah.
she is like she's basically our hero. And
Yeah.
with me seeing everything that she has gone through,
Mm-hmm.
as I'm older now, I show her more grace. I show
Yeah.
her a lot more grace because she didn't ask to be a single parent. She
Mm-hmm.
didn't she didn't she didn't choose that. When they always say, "Oh, single parents." She didn't choose that life.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, in the world that we live in, I don't think, in my opinion, sometimes men really get it. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? It definitely takes two to tango, and she has always had the heart of love.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that meets her, they say that she's the sweetest person, and she
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what about you, Cordelia? What do you feel like you learned from growing up in a single parent environment?
I think I learned just that like God is real. Like God, like that God is real. I feel like our mom like really believes in God, and like anytime that we would have
Mm.
struggle or different things like that, there would be prayer. I just remember one time I had like a nightmare or something like that, and I was like, "Mom, like, what's like I can't go to sleep," and she was just like, "Let's just say the Lord's Prayer together. You know, hallowed be Thy name, Thy kingdom come."
I love it.
And so
And
I
then
think
how
that,
funny she is. I'm sorry,
yeah,
Cordelia.
she's hilarious. Yeah, just like
She
a
is.
lot
Yo,
of humor and yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mom's is the funniest in our family, low key, for
Mm-hmm.
real. Like,
Fun.
I feel like the greatest lesson I learned is independence.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Reason being is because,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
honestly, I seen Mama make things stretch for so long. Like she could take $1 and stretch that joint
Man, that's
forever
real.
and
That's
a
real.
day. I'm
Yeah,
telling you.
it don't
And
make no sense.
if it wasn't for some of the tips, the tactics that Mom showed me, the
Yeah,
hood economics, the street smarts,
yeah.
whatever it is, whatever you want to call it, like the single
Mm-hmm.
parent economics, like that she taught me, and just being a black man, you know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Like
Yeah,
I wouldn't have been able to survive up here on the East Coast. You
yeah,
know, I
yeah.
wouldn't have been able to, like, I would have broke down for real and came home, cried into my pillow and everything like that. Like,
yeah,
my mom did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, no matter what it was, they'd be like, hey, Deborah, you got to figure this out by the end of the week. It don't
yeah.
matter what it is. It don't matter what situation it is. She's like, okay, first and foremost, I'm about to go before the Lord and pray.
Right,
Mm,
First, we're
right.
going to that altar. You know what I'm
Yeah.
mm,
saying? Another thing I used to admire that Mama used to do, y'all probably remember this. Moms used to have that little altar in her room with the
Mm-hmm.
candles and
mm,
stuff. And
mhm.
she used to write notes to God.
Oh
She
yeah,
used
I
to
remember
write
that.
notes
She
to
still
God.
does. She still
And
does.
she would like leave them at the altar and
Yeah,
pray.
yeah,
And literally, I've seen her do that, and prayers get answered. Prayers
yeah,
get
Hmm.
yeah,
answered. When she prayed over Wes for stuff, to deliver him from stuff. When she prayed over Tiffany to deliver her. When she prayed over me. When she prayed over Shantae. When she prayed, like, she did that with
yeah.
all of
That's
us. And
true.
her prayers are still being answered through all of us.
Yeah. You know, another
But
thing
her
that I just thought
baby,
of too. I just thought of another thing too is that like Mama, she just did not let anybody disrespect her. Like she was
Talk.
not here for the mess.
She
Like
was
whether it
not
was
here
a
for it, and
male
she
or a
still won't.
female, she did not play.
Deborah is
She
and
not
would
here for the
still
disrespect.
throw hands.
so
Love
when
the
we get
Lord, but
together, yeah. So when we get
Mm-hmm.
together, right, wrong, or indifferent,
Yep.
and it's so funny how I look back because I'm sure no one's family is broken. I mean, no one's family is perfect. Everyone has, trials and tribulations in their family. And
right.
one thing that I can say Mama is proud of is when we get together, it's like
Mm-hmm.
5 of her kids. We all, look great.
The
And
Furious
so
Five.
outside,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, outside, inside, and she still gives great tips. You know what I mean? I think with me being the oldest, she didn't know how to communicate or give advice
Mm-hmm.
versus down the line. And now that I'm older, she talks to me now. She talks to me finally like as, I'm an adult. And
Mm-hmm.
even I thought of something funny when Cordelia was making like some chicken or something. She was
Mm-hmm.
like, "Well, do I do this?" I said, "Call Deborah." And then she called me back. She's like, "She was right."
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
Yeah.
she said the
I
same
was like,
thing Google
listen, Mama
said.
is better. She's better than a dermatologist. I went to the
Right.
dermatologist. They
She
told me to
got
do
it.
this, didn't work. Deborah Payne,
Yeah,
she was like,
You
yeah.
know, you know what I want to
I was
know?
like,
What do
wow.
y'all? Okay, I probably asked this before. Whenever we've been on the phone, like in
Mm.
conversations, what do y'all feel like y'all got from Mama? Like a characteristic that y'all got from moms?
Mm-hmm. I think for me, like definitely just a deep love for people and just being
Mm-hmm.
able to just sit with people. One of my top love languages is just quality time. And I
Talk,
love how like mom would just like be in a store, even though we felt trapped, like sometimes like we go in the
Lord,
store, she meets a stranger, she talks to them for long, long amounts of
2 days,
time.
2 days.
I just feel like I feel like people need that in such a fast paced culture and like world.
Mm.
And so I feel like I learned just like how to just be with people, listen to people, try to help meet their needs in some kind of way.
That's great. What about you, Shante? What do you feel like you got from Mama?
Um, besides, I was her first face before Cordelia came along, but I think for the inside, I will always say strength, and I will always say no nonsense. She doesn't do like whether you are on the street or in the church but as she's gotten older, she's still sweet. But I think no nonsense. She can tell you right off the bat
Right.
when a person's not right. You
Yeah, that's
know,
true.
she'll tell you like, you know, she's
Yeah.
gonna respect everybody, whether we're in relationships or not. But then
Yeah.
she'll just make sure that someone, are you happy? Is your heart happy?
Absolutely.
How's your family? And she lets you know that family is everything. I remember when
Absolutely.
she was in the hospital, I always joke, I always say that she was on some good drugs because she started talking to me about love life, and she started saying, which, it made me cry because she was like, well, she asked me all this every day. You talk to anybody? She'll name all her children. You talk
Yeah.
to such, such, talk to such, such. And then
Absolutely.
I know that she was kind of out of it because of the medication, but she just kept saying,
Mhm.
she was like, take care of your siblings, take care of your siblings, take care of your siblings, no matter what. And funny story is I've had coworkers that have fallen out with their family members over something stupid, and
Mm.
they hadn't seen or talked to their siblings in like 20, 30 years, 40 years. No matter what, I just could not see that. And I
Yeah.
think that's one of the things that I try to keep close, because all too many times we get so busy in life
Uh-huh.
that it takes 2 seconds. I'm thinking about you.
Okay. And
And,
Shante, you were talking about like how she was talking to you about relationships and everything. So,
mhm.
a question of mine, something I was wondering is, seeing mom operate as a single woman, did it affect how you guys view relationships? You guys being single women, hint, hint to all them fellas out there, hint, hint to all them
Boy,
fellas out there, two single women out here, melon and popping,
Lord have
one in
mercy.
DC, one in Kansas City, kinda, you know what I'm saying? And then, it is what it is.
A
I'm just saying,
mess. A
you just
mess.
gotta be saved. You gotta, that ain't all you gotta be, but
Okay,
listen,
I was about to say a little bit more.
I
but
need a little soul, but I think for me, yes, it did, because of
mhm,
some of the things that I did see.
okay.
It made me realize what I don't want. It made me realize, what I won't accept.
Mm,
And along with other male mentors in my life, your father being one, like
uh,
it just made me just no.
okay.
Without going into too much detail, it just made
Yeah.
me know what I didn't want.
Okay. And
Mhm.
Credit, what about you? Did it? How
Tinder,
did it
no, thank
affect?
you, Anthony. Anthony said Tinder.
How,
This is
how did it? How did having a single parent, a single mother, from your purview, like affect your outlook on relationships?
I think it has some positives and some pros and cons,
Mhm.
like I think the pros were definitely what Shantae had mentioned, just about like just different aspects of like what you won't tolerate and
Mhm.
that you can do better. Like there are more men out there. But I think it also, like, the con was that it taught me that like sometimes relationships can be disposable, and like I didn't see like a consistency at different times. And so like to really be,
That's good.
I think the pro to that is that like it taught me to look for something that will be consistent, like someone that will be, always there. It's just like a huge important thing.
Yeah, that's.
And just
I
because
think.
they love the Lord, they could still be
Mhm.
uh, a devil in sheep's clothing. Like,
Yeah,
just
totally,
because,
totally,
yeah, just because they love the
I
Lord,
was
totally.
waiting
and
for
just
it.
because
There it
yeah,
go.
just because
Yeah,
they go, and she'll tell you, just because they go to church every day, they can still have a drinking problem. They can be
yeah.
any type of an abuser, and it's really big because too many times in the church they tell you, "Don't worry about that. You'll be okay. Just stay with them."
Mm.
And my mother
Mm-mm.
was like, "No,
I'm gonna just lean in. I'm gonna just lean in, like, you know.
yeah."
No, Shante got a point. That's a very, very valid point, Shante. I think for me, it taught me, seeing my mom as a single woman taught me to be everything that those men were not.
Yeah.
You know, to
Mm.
be everything those men I saw were not. Like, I'm gonna be like, oh, he's the alcoholic, or he's this, or he's
Yeah.
that. Oh, I'm not gonna be those things. I am going to be the opposite. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I'm going to be a man who values women. I'm going to be a man who treats women right, and be a gentleman, because my
Yeah.
mom raised me like that. Never put my hand on a woman. Never never cuss a woman out and call her out of her name. Never do that.
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. And there go my wife. I barely drink. I drink
Come
in
on,
celebration.
Sabina.
Yeah. But Anthony Wilder talk about go to strip clubs. He's tripping. I don't know what he talk about.
Oh my
On the next
God.
Top Show podcast.
Ugh.
You know what I'm saying? No, but it really got me thinking, and I'm like, I loved, but the thing that I did love is that my mom it made our relationships get tighter with mom, in a sense. Like mom's was like always, she was like, I love y'all. Like whatever y'all need, y'all come first. She always put us first and made sure that we were taken care of and we were a priority. It wasn't like she would get like totally lost in a relationship. But then again, we all got different versions of mom, right?
Right.
So it's like maybe in one area she may have gotten lost, but she got back to that path or whatever. But we're watching somebody go through relationships. You know what I'm saying? You're watching a person navigate.
Yeah.
And a step above
this person is
that,
somebody that you like came from.
yeah. And I apologize. And a step above that is if we can go back in a time bubble to see our parents and how they were raised and the things that they learned, and whether they were taught to love, whether they were taught to communicate, whether they were taught any of those things.
Yeah.
So as we know what our mom has been through, it explains a lot, because it's like, it's not our parents' fault sometimes.
Right. There's a lot of holes in the story. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So with all of us, right? All five of us, we all came from the same mom, but we all have different fathers. And like traditionally, like none of us are really that close with our fathers. Like, just to say the least. I'm just now getting right back on track with my father.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to ask you guys, transitioning to this question, what do you wish your father could have taught you if he was still around, like if he would have stayed and everything?
I think for me,
is there anything in particular?
I think for me, even after my mother's marriage, the closest example that I had was actually your father. Far as like I could remember from being sick, homework, discipline, all that stuff. I could remember all that stuff. But as far as my father, I just, wish he was there. I mean, my story's a little different because unfortunately military, and then after the military, drugs took a hold. So during the time that he was fine, which was right before I moved here, we had a conversation and he apologized. So I just wish, that first dance, that first, your father's supposed, as a girl, as a woman, your father's supposed to be your first love. Your father's supposed to be the one that you look up to, the one that you can go to for everything. I mean, I'm thankful that I didn't turn crazy, because I've seen with some women who haven't had fathers, I'm not saying that it didn't affect me, but it didn't affect me in the way in which I see.
Got it.
So,
just
wish he was there just to communication.
Yeah. Do you, and then, I wanted to ask Shantae, do you feel like there was a void there, since you didn't have like, do you feel like not having that guy there, you didn't understand? Do you feel like you didn't understand what to look for in a guy? Do you feel like, did you have to create this list, or what was that like for you to navigate? Did you know what that man looked like? Because everybody say like your first love is supposed to be your father. Like for a girl and for a boy, your first love is your mother. You know what I'm saying? Because mama's boy and daddy's little girl. So do you feel like you had to create that for yourself? You had to create that set of traits or whatever, since you didn't see it?
I'm still learning. Anyone that I've ever even dated, it's always been different. It's not one look, one dimensional, one personality. I feel like I'm still going through it. I'm still learning. I mean, takes two to tango, but it's like, I don't think, in my opinion, that anyone ever knows whether it's
Hey,
a
oh my
man or a
Angela.
woman. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think that, you can create a list, you pray over that list,
Yeah,
but God will ultimately also tell you what you need as well,
Right. Yeah.
and
got
what's
you.
for you.
Mm-hmm.
I
So
got you.
I just wish I, had that to bounce off, because sometimes you do have questions with the opposite sex. Sometimes you
Yeah.
do, want to talk to someone outside of your girlfriends, talk to someone outside of someone you're in love with. You know what I mean? Those are the things that I would
Yeah.
say.
And, what about you, Cordelia? Same question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think for me, just some of the things that we're missing are definitely like how to navigate, relationships with men, like men that are older than me or like even guys that I'm dating. Like I think there was just like a lot of like elements of like, man, I really don't know how to navigate this well because of the lack of my dad not being there.
Mm,
I definitely feel like, in a lot of different ways, I've been blessed because there are a lot of dads that have come alongside me, and poured into me in very super extremely healthy ways. Like whether it was
right,
like helping with like finances, like them and their wives helping me with finances or dating stuff. And so I feel like I do have like a lot of different like resources in that way.
right.
But I could never call them father or dad. It would just be weird. And so like and so yeah, so it definitely I think it would have been helpful, like to help me to know how to navigate, relationships with men and like, yeah, like not to where it wasn't like uncomfortable at first, if that
Right.
makes sense. Okay.
No,
Yeah.
that's great, Cordelia.
Mm-hmm.
I think that journey for me, it was a lot harder because it's just like it was like always wanting a father. I always heard about from Shantae, Tiffany, and Wes how great my father was, but I never got to really experience it because he's only around for a limited amount of time. So I was like always looking for my father in a lot of different things. I even
Mm-hmm.
looked for my father in my teachers. Even in West sometimes, and looking for my father in my friends.
Mm-hmm.
It was a hard ordeal because it's like I wish my dad would have been there to like teach me how to drive. I wish he would have been there to teach me how to tie my tie, like teach me how to
Mm-hmm.
throw a ball. Maybe
Yeah,
all of those things for
yeah,
me as a man would have really made a difference to
Yeah.
balance the
Oh,
budget.
totally.
Because like when I see how my wife like has benefited from a lot of the lessons from her father, I feel
Mm-hmm.
like damn, I missed out. Like for real, like yeah,
Mm-hmm.
all of those things. But the great part of that is that God gave me him too. So God
Yeah.
gave me Papa Yeye to really be able to lean on, to be
Yeah.
able to say, hey dad, like I need help with this, or to talk to him or to
Mm-hmm.
hug him, and he's always like whenever he calls Sabina, he's always asking about me and for me, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
yeah.
So I think God has a way of doing things, and even still, like now, I feel like we're getting back on track with my father because it's partly uh Sabina, but all God, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely,
Right.
amen. And I'm definitely happy because, as you know, I've seen several different versions of everyone. So that's the part that used to always make me so sad, because it's
Yeah,
like he was such a great mentor. You know what I
yeah.
mean? And of course, for me, I remember a story that comes to mind, that in church they were having a father-daughter. This when I was 16, they were having a father-daughter cake battle.
Mm,
And
Mm-hmm.
so
wow.
I remember feeling like,
Mm,
I, I, I knew Mama made me go to church, but I remember feeling like, am I going to get up and walk out? How am I going to react? What's going to
wow.
happen? That ended up being the best Sunday, though. It wasn't awkward. It wasn't. He didn't preach too much about father daughter,
Right.
but
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
felt. You do miss those little things. You do see those lot of things that you see a lot of that stuff that I miss that too.
Do y'all do
Yeah.
y'all feel like and I'm not trying to like I'm not trying to aim for the heart or get tears or nothing like that. It's just like I feel like this is where this conversation is going. Like, do y'all feel like when you guys get married, do you feel like there's gonna be pressure there since you don't have the man that y'all came from to walk y'all down the aisle, or do you have supplemental figures to do that?
I have
Yeah,
brothers.
yeah,
That's never crossed my mind. Of course, yes, you want you pray that you had a dad, but
hmm
although my brothers are younger than me, I look at you guys are really, really great men. So that has never even been a second thought in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I think same. I think that there's a lot of ways that different like men have stepped up in my life to where
Mm-hmm.
like I would be honored for them to take that. And I think, you know, when you think about a wedding, you think about the people that have been there, and I would want the people that
Mm.
have been there to, you know, hold a place in that space. And so
Let me ask y'all this too. So if you guys fathers extended their hand, if Al extended his hand, Cordelia, if
hmm
Rodney extended his hand, Shantae, would you guys be open to like having a conversation to rebuild with them?
mm. I think for me, like on my side of things, not to go too much in detail because this,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like I'm only sharing my side and he's not
Yeah,
here to
no,
be
yeah,
able to
yeah, no.
share his side.
Right.
But just from my side of things, you know, I've really tried to do my all to connect. And I think I was doing his part for him, and I just realized like, yo, that's exhausting. And so if he were to extend a hand, I think I would be, you know, accepting of that. But yeah, that just hasn't happened. And so I think that I just had to come to terms with like, you know, just let people be people.
Mm,
And it's okay, you know, if a person isn't initiating with you.
that's good, Cordelia. What about you, Shantae? Would would you um would you accept the extended hand?
I've actually already been in that place in my life. As I said, right before I moved here, um, we actually had lunch. I think it was a little bit more difficult for him to
I didn't know that,
actually,
Shantae. I really didn't know
yeah,
that.
actually, yeah, before I moved here, because I've always worked in the inner city hospitals.
hmm
So they always had like a lot of programs there for, military people.
Mm,
So, ex-vets or whatever, whatnot. And we did try. We did try. He took me out to lunch. Mama was a little nervous at first, but I wanted to hear him out. But it
okay.
was just still hard for him to talk to me. You know what I mean? He didn't find the words. I think for him, I gave that opportunity, that space.
Yeah.
And then the last day of my job, right before I moved here, I
Right.
seen him again coming to the hospital, and he
Mm,
had relapsed. And he
mm,
saw me, and when he looked at me, he kind of looked away in shame. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm,
So, I wouldn't have an issue if it was extended to me, because I always feel like
mm-hmm.
I'm still the child in the situation no matter how old I get. You know what I
hmm
I
mean? I'm still the child in the
understood.
situation.
That's
Yeah.
So
definitely
I'm not going to
understood.
be, I don't have any anger in my heart. I don't have any anger in my heart at all.
Mm-hmm.
hmm
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. I think as we near to a button on the conversation, what do y'all feel like is an amazing thing about being from a single parent household? Like a great thing, because we're not talking. The thing that we are talking about is like this is a deep conversation. It's a great conversation, full of laughter. It's full of great memories. It's full of a little bit of sadness, but not nothing crazy. You
hmm
know, we're sharing our experiences. We're learning. We learn. There's a lot of lessons in it all.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
what do y'all feel like is a great thing about having a single parent?
Mm. I think before I mention that part, I just want to say that I think one of the things that I've realized, like, by not having my father in my life is that, like, you know, there's a lot of lies that we tend to believe about ourselves when we uncover
Mm,
stuff, like lies that, like, I don't know, maybe the person, like, maybe there's something wrong with you. Like, so for those of you that may also have not grown up without your father in your life, maybe they're just like a lot of lies. And I think over time throughout my life, I've realized, like,
mhm.
there's just so many different things. Like, for example, for me, I'll share one is that, like, just a lie that people can leave my life and they'll be totally fine, you know, and that's
Oh,
just not true. And so I don't know if for those of you that, like, you know, may have experienced like a tough relationship with your father, I think when it comes to parents, they're during our formative years, and so like I think that's when the enemy really wants to slide in there and
Yeah.
put these different lies on us, to make us live a life that isn't confident, and
Yeah.
isn't true to who God created us to be. And so it's like
Yeah.
I think it's just a huge importance, to pay attention to that.
Absolutely. Shantae, what
Yeah,
about you? A big
I
lesson.
think
I mean, not a lesson, but the great thing about being raised in a single parent household.
Yeah.
I agree. Well, to that part, to Cordelia, I definitely agree with that because just
Mhm.
always know. So many times, especially being a woman,
Mhm.
society will put a label on you, and men will start saying, "Oh, she has daddy issues. She has daddy issues."
Yeah. That's weird.
You can have a father in your life and still have daddy issues. So that doesn't
Absolutely.
mean
Say
that
that.
Say that
doesn't
again,
Yep.
Shantae. Say that
mean
again. Say that again for the people in the back.
Literally.
like
Literally.
so just
For real.
yeah, don't you have to be strong in that sense to where to know I'm not better than you, you're not better than me.
Yeah.
So it that doesn't matter. But
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think the takeaway for me being from a family of
Mhm.
a single parent is
Like the great thing.
Hmm.
we love each other. We love hard. If you
Yeah.
talk to anyone that knows us, in order to be a part of our family, you know how some people when they get together they try to take you away from your family. We love hard. So you have to
Absolutely.
realize all the way down to our nephews. You
Mhm.
even our nephews realize that we love hard. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I think
Yeah.
Absolutely.
that's the part that warms my heart because we have all of our nephews are getting big, but you don't realize how they look at you and like we didn't get to make it home last holidays and the nephews started venting and saying, well, man, and you didn't realize that they really paid attention to
Yeah.
you. You didn't really realize that they even wanted to be there with you,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
they did. And I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
my biggest takeaway is anyone who knows me knows I love my siblings. They can have my last of whatever. Um, I love hard. And that comes from my mother. That definitely comes from my mother because she may not, you know, just when we might think she's not showing it or whatever, we're not. No, she loves hard. She prays
Yeah.
hard. She
Absolutely.
loves hard. She meditates hard.
Yeah.
She's she still kept us with Christ. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So,
Yeah.
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 She
I
was
think
the
I would.
first image of Christ we had, man.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. I think I would say like, one of the things that I experienced a lot in our household as well
Yeah.
is like a lot of joy, just
Yeah.
genuine joy that we had with each other. I think whenever I do share with people that like I grew up in a single parent household, they're like, oh man, that must have been so hard. And I'm like, I look back and we just had a
Yeah.
lot of fun. There's
Absolutely.
just a lot of
And they
memories.
don't,
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
Yeah.
yes,
Yes.
and even I just think
When
of like
people
how
see
mom
me,
like I just think of how mom would throw like parties and stuff and
Hmm.
bring people in and like somehow everybody was able to get fed and like
Yeah.
I think I experienced our family is just like a lot of joy even when we're frustrated with each other and
Big
upset.
Steve
yeah.
is here.
I'm just like, man, I feel like God has really like blessed us with that.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. I
What's up, Big?
think,
Shout out to Big Steve, DG Barbershop.
Oh Lord, Big
hey,
Steve.
everybody. Yeah. So I believe for me, it's like, um, I'm thankful for everybody. I'm thankful for everyone. I'm thankful for all my siblings. I'm thankful for the communication.
Yeah.
I'm thankful for, we have heart. I think
Right.
and that comes from my mother. It's
Right.
the heart and the strength. And
Yeah.
sometimes, have you ever noticed, like, if someone's ever met any of you guys, that they don't look, we don't look like what we've been through, and they can't tell that we even came
Yeah.
from a single parent. Tell Sabina to sit down. They can't tell that we came from a single parent home.
I'm laughing. We
I've
laughing
had
at Big Steve. He killing it.
I,
Big Steve in the
I've had
comments.
people I've had people think that I was born with a silver spoon in my. I've had a director that say that to me. I had a
Yeah.
director that said she was feeling sorry for someone at work, and she was just like, "Well, she wasn't raised like you," or she. I'm like, "You don't know my life."
Yeah. I
Be like, you don't
you
know
know
my
what it is.
story.
You don't know
I
my
think
story.
the greatest part about being a part of a single parent household, greatest, was that I feel like nobody loves like our mama.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
nobody. Mama loved
Mm-hmm.
people through their addictions. She loved people through their crisis, through their happy times,
Mm-hmm.
memories.
Mm-hmm.
We know don't nobody go to more funerals than our moms. You know what I'm saying? Nobody goes to more funerals than our mother.
Listen,
And I'm telling you,
I can count on one hand.
if there was a an Olympic event for going to the most funerals, my mama will win every time a
listen.
gold medal.
Mama will meet
Every
somebody
time.
at the store and
She
then hear
takes
that
that
somebody
scripture
passed away and then
literally.
go to their
Like,
funeral.
it's better to go to funerals than to go to parties. Like, she takes that
She's
like
never met a
literally.
What
stranger.
is it?
I'm
Yeah.
Never,
telling you. And I
never.
think, honestly, I want to, what's up, Teray? The one thing I want to, I think the biggest thing I got from mama, honestly, is my power to connect to people. Like, I'm really good at
Yeah.
connecting with people, and she gave me that, and
Yeah. Yeah.
it's helped open up doors for me a whole lot, because I get this, like, I can literally go from not knowing someone to them like, yo, who is this guy? I like him. Like, he's cool. Like, and I got all of that from moms. Like, the way I've been able to engage celebrities and not being afraid to engage people, like
Yeah.
network and do that. Mom gave me that. You know what I'm saying? And
Having
I think
manners, having manners,
yeah, and the best thing from
having
being raised
manners.
from a single parent household was, I feel like, honestly, I heard a pastor say this one time. He was like, the great thing about you guys that you don't have to, like, since you guys, your dad wasn't present, you don't have to compare him to anything. You got God all by himself. You know,
Yeah.
you got God all by yourself. You don't have to create this narrative around this guy who fails you or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
Right.
I really like, I think I appreciated that in learning the independence and learning in all of the levels that I could learn.
Thank you,
Lastly,
Big Steve.
what message would y'all have to single mothers out there? If there's any message you could encourage a single mother with, what would the message be?
Mm-hmm.
Normally I don't, because I'm not a mom, but I, from observation, I would just say everything's going to be okay. And it's okay to, and it takes a village. You're not going to be able to do it by yourself.
I
Because
love it.
we definitely had a village. We definitely had a
All
village.
day, every day. Mom made sure of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely
What
had a
about you?
village from, yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say is the word for single mothers you would have?
I think similar to what Shantae said, just like that, you can't make it through it. Don't pay
Mm-hmm.
attention to what society has to say about you.
Mm-hmm.
You can
Yeah.
find love again. That's another thing too. Like there is love out
Yeah.
there for single parents.
Yeah.
And there's good, good people,
That's good. That's good.
good men and women, for single parents. Like, yeah, like there's hope for a single parent because I think our society would lead us to believe like, oh, like, their life, I don't know, whatever, insert any stupid comment that a person would say about a single parent. But there's a lot, there's still, there's still a path, there's still a story to be written,
Yeah.
a lot of
Yeah.
good can come out
And
of it.
What I
I'm
would
sure
say
if they
too, go ahead, Shantae.
I'm sure like when they go back, a part of our mother's raising us, a part of our mother raising us is, as what Sabina said, what she can tell her younger self all the time is the things that she instills in us,
Yeah.
whether it's teaching us, and like what Fred said earlier, independence she taught us in each and every one of us. One thing I can say is all five of us, we have been independent. We
Yeah.
have learned responsibility. We have learned we're not quote unquote bums. You know what I mean? We have learned we are all, you know, doing great thanks to her in our own right.
Yes, all of us are. None of us are behind bars. None of us are in the
Yes,
cemetery early. No, all of us are
yes,
doing well, and we thank God for that. Like, more than anything, I think my message would be to any single parents out there: if y'all watching this live, definitely is just to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
That if you have breath in your body, you have purpose.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
And
that's
even
good.
when it gets hard, day by day by day by day, keep pushing,
Yes.
because
Yes.
it literally there is light on the
Yeah.
other side. There's literally
Because
light on
we're
the other
losing
side.
so many people every day. Amen.
I
Man.
think
Yeah, totally.
I think what Sabina was saying, I pinned her comment because she said, if you look, I think the question that was like, what is something that we would have specifically told our younger selves? Like, what is something you could have, if you could tell younger Shantae, if you could tell something to younger Cordelia, what is a message you would give to them? Like, what is something you would say to them? Like, if you go back in time and be like, hey Shantae, da da da, hey Cordelia, da da da, like, what would that message be?
Mm.
You will be able to see, you will be able to see beyond Kansas City. You'll be able to
Mm-hmm.
travel the world. You'll be able to experience different life, experience different cultures. You'll be able
Yeah.
to you wouldn't be one dimensional. If I
Yeah.
can go back
Mm.
and tell my younger self, I would say I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to be okay.
What about you, Cordelia? If you go back and tell your younger
Yeah.
self something.
I think a few different things. Just that our family is amazing. Your family is amazing. Um, Man, like there's so many really great things that you'll learn from struggling. Like I feel like we learned a lot. I learned
Mm-hmm.
how to be grateful, and the things that I get to do now. I think for all of us, I would say that it doesn't make sense how our lives panned
Mm-hmm.
out so well.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have been this way, and so I just feel really thankful, and I've learned a lot from just not having a lot. Learned a
Yeah.
lot of like what matters most is like people and not things.
Yeah.
People and not like trips and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
like there's a lot of really cool things about life. But family is a big deal.
Yeah.
And to, yes, and just to treat people with love and respect, because
Yeah.
one thing our mothers taught us, you could just say hi to somebody and you don't realize how they made their day. You can smile at somebody,
Absolutely.
you don't realize what someone has been going through. And the same with us, you
Absolutely.
know what I mean? We have
Absolutely.
one thing we do have each other to talk to. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So,
Right.
yeah.
Right. And I would say for me, I would go back and say, I would tell myself that singleness is a gift, and
Mm,
it's not a curse. To look at it that way, and that it's time to like use that moment to train myself up as a man of God
Yeah.
more, and don't get
mm.
distracted by, you know,
Hmm.
like all these different people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That would be the biggest
And
message I would
compare
give to
yourself.
myself.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
before we get out of here, I just wanted to let everybody know that tomorrow is Top Shelf Tuesday. It's a holiday. Tomorrow's Top Shelf Tuesday. We are dropping a new episode tomorrow.
Hmm.
And it's a special day. My wife wanted to throw this out there. It is my birthday tomorrow as
It's his
well.
birthday.
It happens to
Woo-hoo!
be my birthday. It's gonna be a real good day.
It's gonna be a
Y'all
movie.
Yup.
turn up. If y'all got a shot, put it in the air for me tomorrow. If you can,
A shot on
tomorrow's
a
my
Tuesday?
birthday. Huh?
On a Tuesday.
On a Tuesday. Yeah, we
And have
going
you
up
heard the
on a
song?
Tuesday.
It's going up on a Tuesday.
Y'all tripping.
Yeah, so tomorrow's
I'll
the
be
kid's
drinking water.
birthday. Yeah, tomorrow's my king day, So yes, Top Shelf Tuesday tomorrow. We got a very important episode to drop it tomorrow. We hit y'all with the love languages episode.
Come on.
Tomorrow's episode is about boundaries. Man, when I tell y'all don't want to miss this one. This one
Come
is
on.
about boundaries. It's about boundaries, man. Let me tell you. And as my brother Jeff put in the chat, which I did forget, Jeff, I haven't read, but thank you anyway. Check us out on Apple, Spotify, Anchor, Stitcher, YouTube, and Google Podcasts.
Come on. List it
We're
out.
available everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And our link is in our bio. Tomorrow is Top Shelf Tuesday, and the episode, y'all don't want to miss it. We had
Come
a
on.
debate about boundaries. Let me tell you, we really went in. Like the conversation went there. Let me tell you, it's called
Y'all got
This
to the
Is What
meat.
Happens. It's called This Is What Happens When You Don't Have Boundaries. This is what happens when you don't have boundaries. We talked about it all. Believe that. And make sure y'all go to our website at thetopshelfpodcast.com where all our episodes are readily available. Okay, before we get out of here, sisters, wait, first and foremost, I got to thank my beautiful guests, to my oldest sister, my beautiful sister whose hair is looking whipped tonight. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like there's some shade coming in there.
I
There's
want
some
to say thank
shade.
you for coming through. I love you, Shantae, all day, every day.
I love
And to my youngest sister, who is sporting the nice silky afro tonight, I want to say thank you, Cordelia. Thank you.
Stupid.
You stepped out of the 70s to grace
Shut
us
up.
tonight. I love you. I love you, and I thank y'all so much for
Yes.
coming through. Before we get out of here, what is your word of the week? A word that you're focused on. What's your word of the week? Put it in the chat. Y'all can go ahead. Sabina's is celebration. My wife's is celebration.
I
Mine
would say
still be
blessed.
resilient.
You said resilient?
Oh,
Yeah. I think mine is blessed. Like we're so blessed
Yeah.
by our mother. Our mother is a real one. She's original. Ain't nothing else like her. Feel
that's
blessed
true.
by her.
That true. That. Okay,
Yeah.
wait. We got some words of the week. Celebration for my wife. From I think this is from Carlos. His is waiting.
No, that's Carol.
Oh, Carol. I'm sorry,
That's Miss
Carol. I'm
Carol.
sorry.
Miss Carol.
I'm sorry, Carol. Please accept my humblest
Don't
apologies.
accept it, Carol. Don't do it.
Carol, listen.
Love
You don't
her.
know
She's
Kadia
awesome.
like that.
Don't
You
do
don't know
Carol
Kadia
like that.
It's my birthday tomorrow. I deserve grace. So Jeff's word is productive.
Productive.
Big Steve, his word is remember. With
Yes.
the heart emojis or whatever. I see it.
Consistency.
He said, remember.
Anthony's word is
Request I
consistency.
made.
Okay,
Yes.
y'all want to know my word?
What is that?
Vacation! I'm going on vacation this week with my wife. Let me tell you, the vacation is
Come on.
in Jesus' name, we're going to LA. And
Grace.
Come
on.
I like grace.
I'm gonna lay my head down. You know
Come
what I'm saying?
on.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, Opal Lynn's her
Said
word
grace.
is grace.
I love that.
Mm.
Yes.
And Sabina said, remember who?
Your birthday's
Request I
tomorrow.
made.
Tomorrow's my birthday. If y'all wanna like send me some birthday love, just love, light, prayers. I'll take all of that, Cash App is up too. Y'all
Boy,
can
you better put your
whatever.
cash app in the comments. Put
You
it
know
in
what
the
I'm saying? I'll put
comments.
that. Don't tempt me with a good time, Cordelia. You don't know me. You know what I'm saying?
Shantae,
We
tell
talk
them
every
about what I
other day,
did.
Cordelia.
Tell them about how I set you up for your
Cordelia,
birthday.
Cordelia, we talk every other day. Just know that. We talk
Wait,
every other day.
PD, let's Shantae.
Oh, look at
Shantae,
Sabina. See, that's you know what? That's a good wifey. Not wifey don't pin the cash app.
yes.
Yo,
Oh, somebody said
Gertie said her word is
motivation.
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 Yo, Gertie, what you motivated to do? What you doing? You know what I'm saying? Send about 35. You said 35.
Not 350.
Shoot, I'll take 35.
Come on. You better, woo.
I'll take 3,500. I'll
Come
take
on.
350.
Talk about it. Talk about it.
You know what I'm saying? Look, I'll take it all in Jesus' name. Shoot, I'll take even $3.50. $3.50. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you want to say. Whatever you want to say. But to everybody out there, we thank y'all for tuning in with us. We will be back again next Monday, same time, 9 p.m. It may be Jeff. It may be Anthony. You know what I'm saying? But we mixing it up this month. It's going to be great. But, we're going to go out like on this song. It's a family affair. My wife got me laughing over here. So we're going to go out partying. Hey, Alexa. Play It's a Family Affair. We're gonna go out partying.
Watch her play Mary J. Blige.
Oh, okay. You want to play the Mary?
No. This is good. This is good. This is good.
But to my sisters, not from another mister, from my sisters that I grew up with, my flesh and blood, ain't no steps in this house. We blood.
Oh my gosh.
I love y'all to the highest. And I'm gonna talk to y'all tonight, tomorrow, every other day. You know how we do.
Take us out with a
This
prayer.
is Top Shelf Village. Make sure y'all Top Shelf Tuesday tomorrow.
Watch this.
Watch this. Watch this. Watch this.